You guys ready for some smart-ass TikToks? Well, me neither. But this is React content, basically. I was actually triggered to react to, you know, Shue. And she doesn't have reputation, in my opinion. Alright, especially when you look into her content, it's like, it's fucking way below average at this point. I can do better job. For 20 minutes, we talk about things that apparently she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand that women have, you know, charisma or whatever. And it's like, yeah, that's all they have, technically. That's literally all they have. That's literally their entire job. To approach other people? Well, no. To be comfortable in social situations. That's their job. That's what she's doing. She's just reacting, you know. If she was trying to do something more like ingenious, like instead of reading comments, Twitter comments, like technically you're trying to socialize and trying to socialize desperately and trying to understand charisma desperately. That's what women do, unfortunately. June. Yeah. But I don't even know if there's some kind of underlying thing. It's just she seems like a parrot. Doesn't have enough brain to understand some basic things.
If you want to go.
Which actually, like, flips the script entirely, right? If, like, women have more Rizz, if they're more confident, then they should do the fucking job, you know? And I'm not fucking joking around at this point. This idea has been floating around forever now. It's just like, fucking flip the script. If you can do a more confident job of pulling a man into your world, who fucking cares who does the first move, right? Who cares? It doesn't matter. What matters is the end game, right? What matters is the whole journey that you have to go through. So might as well do it as quickly as possible. Whoever has the most Rizz has to fucking, you know, put a hand up in the classroom and say, hey, where's my pirate ship?
Tiffany, I'm Dave.
Nice to meet you.
My pronouns are he and him, but I want to be yours.
I'm a lesbian now. I have decided from this point forward, I am no longer attracted to men.
I play Val.
And instead of having Rizz, Shue has cringe. And cringe is kind of a red flag where, like, you never know if what you're gonna say is like a positive thing or negative thing. And it's like, I don't want to listen to too much negative shit. You know, that just like comes out of nowhere. Like, oh, cool joke. Thank you. She's basic, like, oh my god. Just trying to roast, but like, Jesus Christ. These are completely different people to her at the same. These are fucking aliens. To me as well. I would never be found in a... Is it a white box? Is it a white box again? Is this one of those fucking YouTube Rewind? Yeah, welcome guys to the white box. The highlight of YouTube Rewind. Jeez. We meet again.
Then you do on a dating site. I've never tried a dating app, but I briefly tried Bumble BFF, and if trying to find a female friend is as hard as it is to find a girlfriend, I really feel bad for you guys. I don't...
Well, I don't have friends, so I guess we're both on the same boat now. But it is kind of weird and cringe, and it's like, it's a very unique problem that nobody really pays attention to either. Nobody wants to solve it. And when nobody wants to solve a problem, it's just there, you know, it's just fucking there, and it's stuck in that mode. but only just a handful of people can, in fact, solve the problem of people getting stuck in loneliness and abusing the internet of like, well, I'm in my comfort zone, so I don't want anything to happen ever. But if a person approaches me, then all the scripts are fucking, you know, obsolete. And it's just like, that's what Rizz is, my friends. That's the word of the year. Rizz is to break through someone's pattern of waiting and just not giving a fuck about anything, you know, just allowing problems to manifest. That's what Rizz actually is, you know. You approach someone because you have basically control over them. It's just, at this point, it's manipulation to the max. And there's nothing to it. But to actually be able to do it, you have to have many traits. And I haven't developed Rizz where I just like crash into someone like a fucking wrecking ball. Like it's a magical skill to some level. You can talk about it as like a mysterious force. And in a way, but I did felt like I can approach an NPC and they basically have to submit to me. Why? Because, well, they wouldn't be able to do anything that I'm doing and interact in any way that I'm interacting. They would never be able to do any of this stuff. They just have to be mesmerized that I interact the way that I do, right? Even if they don't like me. And you have to be in a position of respect at some point. And I can keep snapping fingers and reminding them to respect me because, like, I'm a completely unique person that gives you attention. And it's like, how the fuck you don't like me? But yeah, people often get stuck in comfort zones. And they just stay there. Not realizing that, you know, like, life is keep moving on. Like, okay, you improving slightly. That's cool. But the stack doesn't always stack. Just like the circle doesn't always circle. I like the stack analogy, but the circle is also cool. Like, the stack, you can keep stacking, but you're gonna reach your limit at some point. And at some point, you will run out of principles that you can naturally just follow of. Like, I'll be cleaner, I'll be more, you know, approachable, I'll be more attractive, blah, 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 blah. You know, you will run out of principles of what you can do in your life. Best thing to do is just not worry about anything at all. My best principle that I found is just like, well, keep yourself busy. And if people don't like that, if people think that's fucking cringe in some way, well, people don't exist to me then. Alright, I just turn out that button. It's useless anyways. If you don't like me, if there's nothing we can do together, you don't exist. You understand? You don't fucking exist. That's Rizz right there. To let you know that when you're a fucking NPC, and I'm trying to like approach you and trying to make you exist, you have to pretty much submit. You have nowhere to run, nothing to do. You know, your life is going to change for the better by default. You have to submit to that. You know, you have to respect the goodness of life. So, but NPCs just sit there and wait. It's not women. NPCs sit and wait and do nothing. You know, nothing uncomfortable. They can't. Now, will I do the uncomfortable things? I already did the unthinkable things, and I have improved myself in very weird ways that most people don't. Basically acquiring unique skills and unique ways of carrying myself, right? And making these videos, I'm realizing it's a skillful thing. I need it. It's just very simple stuff. So principles carry you up, help you stack up. But there's a circle to circle, so, you know, it's a skill of how Many times you need to circle a circle until you get a pretty good one. And then you obviously keep on improving that shit. But in a speedy motion, you don't need to be an artist to draw a perfect circle. You just have to spend enough time, right? But it's a matter of time until you have to draw a fucking new circle. You can't be stuck in one location. You can't just be playing one game. Like, you gotta do something more in your life. So for me, like, even this, the matrix creation, the opening of your brain, that's a brilliant move for me. But I don't feel like anyone is acknowledging this, right? Because I just don't see it. Don't see you typing a comment of like acknowledgement. If you don't acknowledge something, I mean, maybe you haven't actually done enough work for yourself, which I understand. Me neither, to be honest. The only thing I acknowledge is that people usually don't respond to comments, and I'm like, that's a pretty sad outcome. But that's an influencer thing. In fact, she blocked me from the comment section. That's cool. This is what I get for fucking opening Tinder. It's like, hey, I am way smarter than you. You know how fucking people greet each other? They say, good morning. Get the fuck out of here at this point. You know? You get the fuck out of my face with your stupid fucking rules. The rules is the problem. The rules is what fucking keeps you in the fucking loop. You know? You want someone to say good morning to you. No, you don't fucking need that. And you don't want that. And you asking me to fucking do that. It's like, well, that's a breakup right there. We can stop right there. Like, I'm not even fucking inclined to like a person. You have to submit to my rules, but of not having rules. That's the rule. You know, because that's the easier one, where I don't actually ask you to do anything. But I definitely don't fucking ask you to do this shit. To tell me what to do. That's technically the breakup. Activate the breakup. Press the breakup button of like telling the other person what the fuck to do. So what did I say? Oh wow. You know how to, communicate. You will be 1 in 1,000. If it made you uncomfortable that you want a fucking good morning, well, I am uncomfortable too, because I actually don't fucking know what you want. You know, you don't make the rules, because every single fucking girl is different. Bro, you just don't make the rules. I was expecting good morning. You know, you didn't even fucking carry the conversation forward. You just like drop a fucking expectation and it's like, wow, that's cool. That's a step backwards. I don't fucking want to carry the conversation very much, obviously, after this one. And clearly she doesn't need anyone. So that's good. I'm like dropping a fucking compliment at this point. You know. Well, not really. I'm actually, taking a piss on like all the women all at once in her face. It's just cancer, basically. Like, this is where we at, my friends. Like, I understand her being somewhat angry and confused, because that is a lower level creature that I don't acknowledge to be an influencer. If all you do is react, you go to TikTok, all right? You go to TikTok level of YouTubing, basically. barely floating afloat. But like, it's a good place to start, but it's not a good place to just stay. You have to like try and solve a problem, or try to detect a problem, and not cave into jokes of like, oh, I guess I'm a lesbian now. Oh, I guess men do have it hard to find a girlfriend. Yeah. We're almost hitting our 30s. And June says this. It's like, oh, it's very hard to find a friend. And I want to be like, it's very demoralizing to hear that, right? It should be a little bit more honest in the end. But we'll see. See, I'm trying to skip the fucking good morning part for another obvious reason. Is I can only send one message and 3 hours later she fucking replies. Like, what the fucking good morning? What do you want? You know, I don't know your fucking situationship, bro. You don't know my situationship. Don't fucking expect things from people. Don't pretend that I fucking broke some kind of stick on the floor and 2 monsters appeared. You know, don't pretend this is how it works. That you have to be kept in the comfort zone. That's the fucking problem with these NPCs. They just want to keep themselves in the comfort zone forever. They're stuck, basically. And everything you do is a mistake. You know. And all of a sudden it's shit.
At least.
I raise my voice. That's a mistake. I get angry. That's a mistake. I stay being myself. That's a mistake. Well, fuck you. You know, it's not a mistake. It's what you're gonna get, bitch. In the end. In the end, you're not gonna get a mistake. You're gonna get absolutely rejected alongside with all the other women. Make babies with trees now. Or with Andrew Tate. Because he's always ready for some reason. Alright?
Hello, ask.
Yeah, so for some reason the society is like very confident in putting men at odds with women. Again, women have more Rizz, as I've said. But society is so confident that, you know, June is getting a bad answer here of like, well, I would like to match my music taste. Is kind of like the answer, kind of like the vibe. But it's like, he says to a question of like, what is a red flag to you? Well, if the music isn't there, music taste isn't there, you know, like, but like, yeah, like you would love to match with a music taste. That's your thing. And it's not like, it's your passion maybe. And then fucking June starts ranting of like, oh, I definitely know what the fuck is going on. Jesus Christ. It's cringe. Overload. But like, it's understandable. Like, their biggest red flag is to feel rejected immediately. Feel like your passion is not, you know, driving someone else forward. You know, that's the match. You have a passion, you have a direction in life, and they have to kind of follow a similar direction. And then you kind of match up in the middle. It's just that simple. Another stupid fucking matrix that people don't have in their brains. Actually, it's super smart. You have to have it. I don't know how to sell it to people, okay? See, that's a match. And these are 2 directions. Alright? Well, technically, that's a match. When you realize that your directions are kind of like matching, they're not going opposite ways, that's pretty cool. That's all you need to do to combine forces in a way. Very simple.
You looking real good today.
What's up?
Smell good,
I smell good, smell
yeah.
See, women create social boundaries, and this is what the fuck is going on Tinder. A woman is like noticing, right? I'm breaking rules, and it's like, well, I'm gonna keep this man in line. Except you don't fucking know how much it's gonna cost you, you know? You don't know. I didn't fucking build any relationship reputation with you whatsoever, so now I'm gonna hate women even more by realizing they're keeping people in check. They feel like they're on top of the world now. You know, that fucking sucks, to be honest, for men. Like, this is a very expensive behavior for women to do. For them to realize, oh, I'm very uncomfortable. I can't keep the conversation. But when they fucking have to do a task like this, oh, I have Rizz. This whole time I had it. I just never needed to fucking do a task, you know. Oh, I can hold your hand. I can run around you and smell you, basically. And it's like, wow. I will woo you very quickly. That's how we do. It's like, fuck, what the... If you can do that, if it's so easy, then choose a dude. You have the power of choice. Dudes don't have that anymore. You know, it's too easy for them to get rejected. It's powerless at this point.
Still taking care of.
So, you know, there's basically a relationship war happening because the table has turned, the rules are unclear, and it's just, it's painful as hell. You know, that women kind of like just keep it all in, like men are wasting their charisma. Anytime they get rejected, they feel like, oh shit, I did something wrong. You know, and women take advantage of that very quickly.
Okay.
This is very awkward. He's doing like all the work.
Bro, relax, by the way. Because there was zero Rizz the whole time because, like, what the fuck are the rules, right? If you break the rules, then you don't have Rizz, right? How do you determine Rizz? Because I think smelling someone is a red flag. First of all, trying to take someone's hands, trying to get into their comfort zone, that's a red flag too. That's too desperate. What women actually are doing, they're also making terrible mistakes that we don't acknowledge because we don't fucking even talk about it, by the way. We don't even talk about it. So they sort of have the upper hand, even though they're kind of playing an equal battle, basically. Because we have never seen these things before. So let me double check this third girl that seemingly have not broken any rules. Let's see if I cringe at this one. I mean, it's possible that I don't have to cringe.
Have started on the internet. My idea of rizzing a man is, hey. So who am I to judge?
Hi.
Hi, how you doing? Oh,
Mine.
straight for the hug. Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Straight for the hug. You know, straight for the shot, basically. And they sort of like, no, they sort of fire themselves up of like what works. And even Shue recognizes that. You know, like, well, whatever worked when picking up that girl, they have picked up that idea. So technically, if you reject like 5 men, maybe you have to actually now approach a man one time. All right? That should be the rule, technically. If you know how to approach a man, that's the biggest red flag ever, basically. Because you have the power now. Congratulations. You have rejected enough men. You got the achievement for it. You can now go out there, you know?
I need a tour guide.
And when I get rejected, I get to sit back and watch. What the fuck are you gonna do about it? You know, because I'll just gonna take an L 5 times, 10 times, and just sit back. And it's like, I'm done. I've done my part. I can tell a story about it. You know, I can talk for hours and hours of my rejection stories and how I feel about it. That's it. I will always be entertained for the rest of my life.
You're not.
I might need a tour guide. Wouldn't want to get lost, you know?
Okay.
She's good.
Okay, she is good.
I don't know if these women in particular are just very smooth or these men in particular are just very easy, but they're doing much.
No, they're not doing much better. They're throwing their red flags at men and impaling them. And men are just like, oh, I guess that's the best feeling I've ever received in my life. Because there's no other feelings to receive. It's just, the red flags that women throw at people, they just kind of fucking slip away. It's just not normal to behave this way of like, go in for a hug, go in for a smell, go in for a fucking touchy your handies. Just fucking relax, bro. Like, you didn't even fucking notice Mr. React channel. Holy shit, man. I have to carry this woman, you know, with my Rizz.
Actually called herself mommy.
I'm not gonna call you that.
And she just laughs. It's like, oh, that's what happens when you get rejected because you're fucking stupid. You know? Oh, that's... Oh, it's so funny. It's a little bit of a pain because it's never gonna happen in my life. Oh my god. Men have to unite a little bit. You know, if they want Rizz, they gotta fucking throw a few middle fingers out there because women basically think that we're desperate enough to even like follow their commands. Fuck this bullshit, man. It's such a nonsense at this point. It turned into a fucking sinking ship because it's tilting, clearly, in one direction, basically.
Who do you think has better Rizz, men or women? And do you want to see...
Neither exist. Technically, men have better Rizz because they at least fucking throw it at me as well. You know, they appear in my world. Women appearing in my world, you know, it gives off a different vibe of like, oh, it's a unique experience. It's going to feel different. But because women are so positive and they're more memorable, technically kind of checks out. It kind of evens out a little bit. You know, men just kind of bounce around all over the place. And pickup line is one of those things that you basically can throw at anyone. Right? You're not going to offend anyone, but like what women are throwing at, it's cringe either way. It's just a very complicated thing. It seems actually quite balanced. Again, when you realize that men do this and women do this, they actually fucking dump all their emotions because they're positive influence and they can just, you know, well, I guess I have to dump some feelings here, you know, make some memories here. They fucking go for it. They pick a target and drop a bomb. While men just have to run around and do the same thing over and over again. They gotta grind to get something out of it. Alright? Well, I guess I'm not manly enough, guys. I did not grind. I just grind videos. Not approaching people. It's just, but that's the problem, right? Like, technically, putting people in the equation is a little bit of manipulation. This is what the scammers do. They approach people relentlessly over and over again with the same thing to offer, which is basically nothing. Just a good facade, so to speak. And it's technically a waste of time. So yeah, putting people in the equation, which is what makes women so cringy in that situation. Like, you don't do that. The same way, as a man, you just work with many skills. You explore the world as much as possible because for you, the world is dangerous. You have to, like, pop a lot of fears, a lot of problems you have to get yourself comfortable with. Because you're also going to do everything alone, pretty much. So you're going to find yourself in this situation anyways. Now, how relationships are created is still a mystery. We haven't solved shit, basically. We only saw the problem, you know, and confusion. One thing I can tell you guys, internet, while it's convenient, it creates distance between people and makes things inconvenient at the same time. All right? Now you have to build bridges. And a lot of people have no fucking idea how to build bridges. And you have seen, women have expectations even at beyond 30. On Tinder, she was 31. And she still has expectations of, like, I will say good morning to you. I'll say good morning to you when we're friends, when we build a relationship. Then you can expect things from me, you know, because we build something. So she's already like depressed and fucking dysfunctional member in society, I would say. Already, you can already throw that in the trash. It's pointless now. So you have to build a bridge. And with the internet, the distance is slightly different. Slightly bigger distance. Normally you want to deal with co-workers, people who are around you, you kind of like try to glue to those kind of people, or something you see every day. Like, yeah, it is what it is. It's usually about distance, and technically internet increased the distance and increased the tool set that you have to bridge the gap. But if it's more than, if the distance is bigger than your town, you're screwed basically. Like, I can't bridge that distance. I know things are not gonna work out if distance is more than 2 kilometers. Apparently, it's just not gonna work out. It's crazy, which is why you need like social environments to manifest relationships. You need like actual social gatherings and pair people up with each other and make them comfortable with each other, because that will just happen naturally. There's no need to, you know, for two people to approach each other and have expectations anymore. They just have to be paired up by force because fuck it, right? Like, you guys didn't fucking understand how it works. I understand. I don't need to be paired up in a physical manner to be stuck in a room with someone. I don't need that. I can talk to someone online just fine. As long as we both talk and we don't reject each other, we're gonna be fine. I realize this rule. It's not that fucking difficult to understand, you know? So that's it. I gave you a fucking breakdown that this shit, it can only can only make me angry enough to, like, you know, try and answer the questions. Unfortunately, it's a sacrifice at this point. All right, let's jump into TikToks and react for the rest of the half an hour. I've done my rant. I've created a vibe, and we're gonna be looking for stuff like this. Now, Sabrina did a little bit of glitch. What you're gonna hear is the song that I was singing at school, the only song that I was singing at school, you know, in public, to many people. And people recognize that I have a talent for singing. But I'm never going to use it, unfortunately, because I can't even have fucking friends and, again, find a social environment where my singing actually matters. Technically, I'll be fighting for it, but I already have a full schedule of, like, I like programming more. I have a bigger priority. Singing is kind of buried fairly deep under plenty of layers. And technically, only once you become a Disney princess are you allowed to sing and be popular about it. Otherwise, it's just going to be a flop. Otherwise, your emotions are not expensive enough for people to care, you know.
Come on and get your kicks now. You don't need the money when you look like that, do you, honey? Big black boots, long brown.
I'm not sure how she picked up the song, because she usually just puts her song in there multiple times. So for that to sneak in, I'm like that. Well, it's a glitch. I have no idea how these things happen. Glitch is a glitch, basically. You know, maybe spreads like a disease. Maybe Europeans are the ones creating diseases. In terms of ideas that have to be released, I don't know, bro. I'm scared of rap. This is so weird.
Hi, my name is Jimmy. For the past month and a half, I've been documenting my life. And 6 weeks ago, this is where I lived.
This was the last episode, my friends, of a homeless person struggling, but he found a miracle cure of recording and putting it on social media because people would like to know. They don't have enough charisma to know what's going on and approach homeless people. They want to be in their comfort zones because it's very scary out there now. But we're all approaching the edge. We're all so scared of everything that things are getting more expensive for obvious reasons. Or reasons?
Job and
See, the obvious thing is that inflation happened after COVID instantly. It's just a 1-by-1 ratio, my friends. We have shown fear to the government. We have shown fear to each other. We have shown a lot of fear because of the invisible thing. Not because a war has been declared and we are being drafted into war. No, because there's COVID. There's a little bit of a fucking virus that we don't even understand. We have to just bow down and obey, and that's our new comfort zone, is being stuck in our homes. And despite a lot of people trying to, you know, fight back against it, it didn't fucking work very well. You know, because we're just generally scared of the government, and we don't have any control of the government, and we don't even have the acknowledgement that we don't have any power left. So we're still gonna dig our graves deeper than that, and beyond the inflation. We just set up the game, basically, of how we're gonna get screwed over. So the government is gonna screw us over, and the businesses are gonna screw us over because, you know, the life is not as easy as it seems. So this, for some people, is where they end up, and this is just you know, a more reasonable place. Because it's not in the middle of the city, you don't get attacked that often, you have to find privacy desperately. It's a dead end at this point, and you're lucky to survive. This is a crazy situation. You lose your mind, like it's insane to be in this situation. Like you lose so much ability to sustain yourself, and this has to be respected. And this journey, you know, is going to be the opening for all the TikToks we're going to be watching as well. I'm going to change the vibe a little bit. That's Rizz right there, my friends. Just being on social media, especially if you're struggling in life, even complaining about something, highlighting something, that's the stuff I respect. It's a very simple thing to respect, and approaching other people, apparently it doesn't work in any way. We just don't know how to do it properly. So we should fucking stop at this point.
and having my tenancy end, I found myself in a situation where I had nowhere to go and no job. What I did have was a little bit of money left over from my last paycheck, and with no other option, I headed out on what I deemed a backpacking adventure. After embarking on this adventure, I very quickly began to run out of money, and I found myself in a situation where I was living out of my tent with very little money, just trying to find cheap ways to eat and keep myself going. I'd used some of my money to buy a weekly gym membership where I could shower and store my clothes. The rest of my time was spent on what I call survival mode, where your life has no overall purpose. You live each moment just trying to get by, eat, and keep warm. I was pretty efficient at being able to find cheap food. In the moments where I didn't have much to do, I started to think about my life. I knew I had to do something. One night, in the early hours, I sat thinking about my situation, how little money I had, the fact I was sleeping in the tent, and barely eating. At this moment, I pulled my phone out and began to record myself. This was the moment where I began documenting my life as a homeless man. I wanted to give people insight, and I wanted something to do with my time, something of meaning. This became my new obsession. Every day, I would post a video showing people how I live, how I function, and what I eat. I very quickly began to gain support from everyone watching, and my follower count kept going up every day. This gave me a hope I hadn't had in a long time, and as I kept making videos, people would offer out helping hands and ideas to help me get back on my feet. Some people had suggested making a GoFundMe, and I had nothing to lose, so I set it up. The fortnight that followed was crazy. Day in, day out, donations were rolling in, nearly £200 a day.
By the way, this is disgusting, whatever he's fucking talking about, because still, to this point, the obvious solution is get a job, right? Then we're not getting to that solution for some reason by default. Get a job is somehow not a solution. It's weird.
All from kind strangers who had seen my story online. I was feeling more elated than I'd ever been in my life. One night, I come back to my tent at about 2 in the morning, and I find it flattened. However, this issue was small. I repitched it, didn't think much, and got into bed. I woke up the next morning as usual. I checked my TikTok and was reading some comments. One of these comments had told me that apparently someone had donated the remaining amount on the GoFundMe. I didn't quite believe the comment, but I still rushed to check the GoFundMe. When I looked, I saw a man named Mohammed had donated the remaining 2.7
The most common name in the UK, my friends.
grand of the GoFundMe. I was in disbelief. I sat looking at the screen for nearly 20 minutes, and after the phase of shock I was in, the excitement began, the relief began, a vision for the future began. I got all the documents I needed and set up the bank transfers. I was now in possession of £4,000. With this money, I bought a caravan and a car to tow it with, and linked up with my best friend Luke, who was also homeless. And now we live in my caravan. We're currently making preparations to get out on the road, travel around the country, and document it for you guys to watch and enjoy. This is the story of how I escaped homelessness.
Well, you only escape homelessness with a job, though. Other people have to work for you now, because you're an influencer now. That is cringe. That part's pretty fucking cringe. That we still haven't given this guy the proper solution. But even when a person is complaining in public, and we all see it, and we're all fucking uncomfortable with it, we can't really give him a job. Right? What's that? What's that about? Because that's the only solution, my friends. But it's like, oh, guys, I'm an influencer now. He's better influencer than any of you. And he's gonna struggle less than any of you because he fucking just dipped a little bit, showed, you know, convinced people that he matters, and bam, bro. Well, if that's actually it's not the end of the story, obviously. How do you not struggle past this point? It's kind of cringe in every single way. So, here's 2 funny bits. It made me laugh, so hopefully.
Are men okay?
Nope. Every day I'm struggling.
Are men okay?
Minion doesn't mind a little visitation from the cats.
It's a new account. I'm like, wow, very interesting. Another person with a very peculiar pet, basically, that actually has personality, and he's able to like read the personality and narrate a pretty interesting story, even though it's very, very cute, very simple.
Just eventually it gets to be too much. He has some of the clearest body language in a dog that I've ever seen. He's enjoying his bed, but he's just not happy to share right now. I told him yesterday I had a plan. Eventually he jumped out into the other bed that he just doesn't find as comfortable. He's like, come on, Dad, implement the plan already. This isn't going well for me. Dagger was extremely pleased with himself that he finally kicked Minion out of the bed. Minion, on the other hand, was very mopey. He's got the tail wag of, I'm not happy. This isn't the best thing right now. Eventually, he gets back over there, throws the cat out of the bed. What he wants is a smaller bed that the cats can't fit into next to him. He does his absolute best to modify it, and that's actually the plan. I'm getting him a smaller bed. He actually has one, it's just up at the camper, and I didn't bring it down here, so I just gotta go get it and give it to him. This way, when he wants to share, he can share, and when he's had enough, he's got his own. Same shape, just as soft. Minion is relieved I finally brought it down here. Now the cats can stay in their bed, and he's got his very own, and he gave a big stress relief yawn.
This is just the tip of the iceberg. You should probably check out this account because it's kind of fascinating, you know, to give pets personality. But at the same time, you know, it's cool. You got my.
I'll give you $10. Yeah, you're looking at me.
I haven't actually watched the whole thing, but it just always seemed to make me laugh. Or at least 2 times, because it's like, it gets absurd very quickly. Just so quickly.
Like, you know, it's yours. $10. Why? No reason. Just tell me what to give the next person.
Give to the next person?
Yeah.
Nothing?
Like nothing at all?
Yeah, don't give them nothing.
I said nothing. That's good, right? Because now
yeah,
we're still...
you know you're cheap too, so be happy.
Okay, so we need to find someone else. So
at this point, I'm laughing, you know, like, there's all these influencers who just approach people and sort of give things. So it's like, you're gonna run out of money real fast. There's all kinds of fucking TikTok approaching influencer, and it's cringe to all of them, so... But this guy seems to just fail on purpose, almost. Or create a scenario like that. I don't know. I don't know anymore what's going on. So that's the funny part, right?
So I can't give you anything because the person before said to give you nothing, but you have to choose what I give the next person.
No, that's not fair. I want something.
But the person before said I can't give you anything, so just pick for the next person.
I want for myself something, so how about $40?
This is the moment I had to, like, stop watching. Because it's too much. It's like, for 40... You know, it's emotional, bro. You try to act like an NPC with a fucking TikTok camera approaching people and just giving money because, well, I'm gonna get money back. But now it's like, $40 though? Holy shit, man.
But the person...
Look, here's 20. Let's not even make it long today. There's $20. Match the 20.
But we were going to use this 20 for the...
I'll use my credit card. Just give the 20.
No, but if we give all of... Okay, yes. So now that you've taken all the... What should we give the next person?
How about a hug?
That's good. No money involved. A hug. Come on, let's go.
You're welcome.
How am I supposed to be hugging strangers now?
Everyone needs love.
Oh my god. And gotta drop a follow for now. Holy shit.
Just go
You
give
can't
a
just
hug.
hug.
When someone asks for something expensive, you complain. Now they're saying something
No,
that's
it's
free.
hug. Hug is very intimate. That's just what I'm saying.
You ready?
Ready for what?
To give someone a hug, we need to find somebody.
How am I supposed to just go and hug stranger?
But everybody needs love. I don't think they're gonna trip.
What kind of
Just
love?
just like regular.
Well, technically you can offer a hug and they can reject you and you keep on trying to find someone who you can hug and whatnot. It's a little bit weird, but it should work at some point.
Don't be a creep about it. Come on, man.
You come and do the hug. Give me the,
I'm the cameraman. No. You asked what they wanted to give the next person. Give them a hug. It's not that hard.
You think we should do that one, right? That one. Oh. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry. Someone said I should hug you. That's why.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So what should I give the next person since I gave you a hug?
You should give them $200.
$200.
Yes.
I will still film it. I will still film.
Yeah, let's go get $200. I think there's an ATM somewhere around here. We should.
Which
You
ATM?
can do 100. I do 100.
No, I don't have any money again.
Bro, why are you so cheap?
No, it's not. You gave me the 20. I have 20, 40.
So that's
20.
all you had, just that 20.
Let's
go to the ATM. Let's do 200.
No, are we still recording?
Yes.
See, it's very important for the cameraman to exist and start an argument of like, hey, but the people want to fucking see this. Why are you so cheap? It's so fascinating, bro.
Why you say no? Stop.
What do you mean? Stop what you did this last time.
Stop recording.
Bro, let's just go get the 200.
No. There's no. I don't have any 200. I only have.
Do the kids today know how much everybody used to hate Keanu Reeves? I bring this up because there was a controversy last year where in Matthew Perry's book, he made a joke about Keanu Reeves, implying that he was such a scourge on Hollywood that he kind of wished he was dead. And on top of being generally disgusted by this, a lot of people were just baffled, like, who could hate Keanu? But that joke used to be common. Back in the 90s, Keanu Reeves was a punchline. It was just commonly accepted that he was single-handedly ruining Hollywood. You know how they have the Golden Raspberry Awards that they give out to the worst movies and the worst performers every year? Keanu Reeves is one of the all-time most nominated actors. And it was not just people making fun of him or saying that he's wooden. People hated him. There were all these big projects where they complained that he ruined the movie, that this movie would be a classic if it didn't have Keanu in it. The critics were just brutal and nasty toward him because the narrative was that he kept getting these roles because he's handsome or whatever. People were openly rooting for him to fail. The first time I heard of The Matrix in 1997 or 98 when it was in production, the first thing I saw was a magazine making fun of it. Like, oh, here's the next Keanu Reeves stinker. It's some sort of a hacker movie. We know those are all corny and cringeworthy.
Maybe it became cool to hate Keanu or whatever. Because, you know, every movie flopped with him in it or something. It's hard to tell what the hell was the trend. But it's kind of fascinating to like, oh, Matrix turned his career all the way around, and now we don't see Keanu as a loser anymore. But technically, that's what it takes. It takes a little bit of warm-up, and then you just jump into another movie, so to speak. And you don't make it like... It's almost like people knew exactly how to tame Keanu and put him in a very, very favorable spot. It's kind of fascinating.
I cannot overstate how much this film turned his entire career around. But that's why I think that Matthew Perry incident was so weird, is that...
Yeah, so...
I think so many of the young people thought that he was just a psychopath. It's like, who could ever hate the most lovable man in Hollywood? But all that happened was that Matthew Perry was out of touch, like so many actors.
And, I mean, technically, Keanu Reeves just kind of got the pinnacle of his career. Like, while he was climbing, he was being hated because, you know, maybe he's struggling climbing, he's emotional, like, unavailable person. So the best way you can do is, like, keep on hating him. Who knows, right? It sort of makes sense to me. Because I relate to his personality the most. And I am... by generating my own hatred, by being hated, by being rejected, I have to just keep moving forward. And people kind of recognize that I'm moving forward and I'm improving myself. That they cannot keep up with me. You know, because I keep accelerating away. And I'm like, I'm not interested in intimate relationships. I do like friendships. I do like people hanging around and, you know, chatting with me. That's nice. But fucking opening up all of a sudden, like, fuck this shit. So, yeah. I'm sort of in a similar position, especially knowing that I'm flopping right now on YouTube, right? Like, it's very difficult to actually get views, and my formula is not exactly matching up to the level of other creators around here. And I'm like, I don't really care about that, but I want just friendship. I just want people to be normal, like actually normal. Not like good morning type of normal. Jesus fucking Christ. No, it's just gonna sit there in my brains and take up so much space. All this bullshit. It's perfect opening, basically.
Why do chefs always sprinkle salt from a height? I'll tell you why. It happens when you season from close. Obviously, it's really patchy, right? It doesn't cover all your food. One of the main issues that I have with this, bites that are just way overly salty. There's a proper way to do it. Just raise up your hand a little bit more. It will naturally spread out.
That's a cool matrix, right? I'm not sure if it's useful, but it seems pretty cool.
The craziest thing about the lottery is the fact that your odds of winning are only 1 out of 300 million, but the government wins every single time. Let me tell you the truth about the lottery. I truly feel like this is an idea that needs to be shared with the world, so please watch until the end. One day I had...
Now, she gives an expectation she's gonna talk about the lottery, but she kind of like manufactured an idea out of a lottery.
The question, who created the lottery and why? The first ever recorded lottery can be traced back to the Han's dynasty, and they were held to finance major government projects like, for example, the Great Wall of China. And the next recorded lotteries trace back to the Roman Empire, where funds went to city.
Basically, technically, it's a way to get more funds for the government in a way. So that's kind of fascinating. And then she asked a question of like, can we do it again? Like, clearly lottery winnings are no longer going to the government for a cool project like this. We could actually own Twitter if we wanted to, if we just put money together. And, through lottery, because through lottery, like, people are somewhat inclined to submit themselves to that, to potentially winning something out of it, which is actually, you know, a very normal thing. It's called, you know, buying stocks. It's literally lottery. It's the same thing, buying stocks, and well, you can win. You can win your money back, basically. It's just that simple. If your thing is successful, if what lottery tickets you're buying is successful, then you get refunded, so to speak. So, technically, yes, you should be able to just put money, easily invest into something, and we should call it lottery, as it is gambling, instead of some kind of fancy word that makes you an investor, like an actual job. That's fucking stupid, basically. And right now, like, investment is a job simply because monopolies don't pop. They just don't collapse as easily. Monopolies just tend to going up and consume more and more attention and more reputation and all that shit over time. Just over time alone. But with new technologies, keep crashing into monopolies and trying to at least decentralize them a little bit. Take a chunk out of them. Now there's a threat for every investor's basically existence. So, fascinating, right? We're digging a pretty interesting hole into a whole economy of how everything works through lottery, because lottery is not supposed to exist unless we're actually trying to buy something very reasonable, some kind of very good idea that we all sort of layers of people agree, right? So technically, a lot of people can be convinced over lottery, but there's layers of people that you have to break through, right? So there's people who's gonna spread the idea. There's the main idea thing. We're gonna spread it, and then they understand and they confirm, and then they spread that, hey guys, buy this lottery ticket. All right, invest into this opportunity. That's what's supposed to happen with ideas. All right.
repairs. Shortly after, England organizes their own in order to raise money for the royal fleet, but here's where things get interesting. England holds this lottery open for 3 years, which essentially makes the money received during this period an interest-free loan for the government. They could use the money as soon as they got it. They just had to make sure they made it back before they announced a winner. This then spirals into various American colonies being funded by lotteries, as well as almost all of the Ivy League schools. Princeton, Harvard, Columbia, all of them. Okay, so don't you see what's happening? The lottery is just a way for governments to raise money with no questions asked. Even Fortune.com literally says that the Powerball basically functions as a tax. And it's right in our faces. Like, did you know that the Mega Millions is literally owned by the state?
See, I've never seen the lottery this way, and it does open up a whole new picture to look at. Because up to this point, I'm shitting on lotteries, but it is a way to manipulate people. And it's like, well, it's a tool. It can be used for good things as well. And NPC is going to do NPC things and submit themselves to a lottery of potential better well-being of themselves. But the way you actually have to do it now is to force people to invest so they can actually get money back. The BitConnect version. But it quickly can turn into a scam. So how do we make it not a scam? Huh? Now it got a little bit problematic with all this Bitcoin bullshit going on down. Now everything feels like a scam. Even though this turned lottery into something that oh, I mean, you can get money. But you also need to know who's going to keep the money and where we're going to spend the money. We have to trust those two things as well. And establishing that is just as hard as establishing the whole lottery thing and establishing the layers in the first place. I'm sorry. As cool as this idea is, it feels so far, far away, my friends.
Of Illinois. Okay, so now let me tell you why I think that this is so profound. The lottery proves that Americans can effectively put their money into a single pot, and as long as one person wins, everyone else is motivated to play. So why not organize our own lottery and deliberately put that money towards something that we want? In 2021, Americans spent $105 billion on lotteries. Do you know what we could do with that money? We could power every household with solar energy. We could pay for college tuition for every 2 out of 3 people. We could literally buy.
Again, be careful, because these are all investments. They don't necessarily give 100% returns. Who knows? Or 100% returns on whatever you invested. You invest $100. Maybe if you buy a phone that you really need, you're gonna get your money back because it's a very good product. That everyone seems to need. But with solar panels and then college tuition and then fucking buying up companies, it's like, well, we own it. Who's gonna run it, right? Who's gonna be the CEO? You have to think about it, that it's very difficult for this idea to actually work in the end. It's just very unfortunate, but as excited as she is, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Open AI.
Because there's 5 layers of problems to go through. Fucking making a video game is less problematic at this point. Just let me be, basically. Let me dwell on my own shit.
We can buy Twitter back from Elon Musk and make it a public good. Am I crazy, or is this actually an idea worth spreading? We have so...
Yes, you are crazy, and it is an idea worth spreading. It's just, at this state, it feels like shit. You know? Because again, money is more complicated than just oh, let's gather all the money. That's complicated enough. Alright, creating a lottery is complicated enough. Oh, outcompeting other lotteries is complicated enough. And you still have to promise people something and distribute that something when they deserve it. You know, complicated enough. And then you have to spend money wisely and give money to someone who's going to spend it wisely on a very good idea that is very hard to find. Complicated enough. I told you, 5 layers of problems to solve. This is probably just a utopia idea for crazy people. All right? But the excitement is because you found something new of like, wait, we spend so much money on lottery, we should be spending on good things. We're sort of like realizing we're billionaires if we combine forces together, right? And stop wasting money on lottery, which lottery should just be illegal technically. That is my suggestion. It's just the most normal thing for me. It's apparently illegal to make your own lottery though. No, lottery should just be illegal by default. It's a good place to start. But yeah, it's fucking weird. Holy shit.
Why do chefs always...
Apparently there's 6 layers of complication because it could be illegal to make your own lottery. Thank you very much. Because government doesn't trust you with that shit. You know, clearly. Okay, we're done here. How many TikToks did I react to? Because it's not a lot. It's 9. We can do one more.
It's because I think it should be a bigger story, and I don't think it's going to get covered.
Okay.
All right, so can I explain it to you?
Yeah.
And then you can just tell me if I sound crazy.
Okay.
Because I'm going to sound crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. 99% of the phones in the world are being tracked by every single government through push notifications. And the United States government has a gag order.
Now, the way he evolves the story is a little bit different than what he says. Like 90% of foreign governments have access to your push notifications. But that's a very separate thing from your phone. Push notifications go to a different server and actually being collected, and they can be shown to everyone of like what notifications you get, and it could be sensitive data. Apparently that's the case. I don't know. It's just oh well, moments. Something will have to be done about this. I don't know. It's annoying. Ever since Snowden made it obvious, we're all being tracked. At least nothing happens because of that, right? And you don't want to live in fear. I'll just tell you that much. That's a much higher priority than worrying about push notifications. You know. And very likely just disabling notifications doesn't do shit, which is even more annoying. Like, that's a lot of data, basically. I don't know. It's too complicated because, again, it's a very invisible force. Only when people get approached in some kind of way. But, you know, government always prepares a cake for you. But at the same time, they can't do it in privacy as well. And what foreign governments are going to do with your data? They can't do much, unfortunately. So it's just a very messy situation. So this guy does sound crazy, unfortunately. Even though I know him too well at this point.
Imagine working in 80.
So alright guys, see you guys next time. We only watched 10 TikToks, because that's how we do it here. In 1 hour, bro. 1 video, 10 TikToks. And some of them are super short and just comedic relief. Alright, bye. Bye-bye.